John, I was thinking back to the marathon that we ran together, and although I was about to leave when you were finishing, okay, it did show a great deal of dedication and perseverance, much like the dedication you've shown to Loyola and the students here, and I want to thank you for that.
John Weetenkamp, I bet your mentor, Mr. Dave Kennedy, is looking down with a big smile on his face and saying, "I taught you good, John. You went all the way from star pitcher on the baseball team to president of our school. Congratulations."
Mr. Weetenkamp, aka the Mister, you and I have worked so many times in the history of Loyola Blakefield presentation together, and me being your personal clicker. I remember listening to you so fondly speak of the Loyola legends that have come before you and their impact on you. And I want to thank you for continuing to be that person for so many of us here at Loyola Blakefield, that inspiration, mentor, and friend.
John, from the halls of Sheridan to the classrooms in Wheeler to your morning greetings outside of Xavier, you embody Loyola Blakefield. You're a man of honor and integrity. You're a man of humility. You're a man for others. And you're a man I'm so proud to call a fellow alum and friend.
Hi, John. I just wanted to thank you for the 12 years of shared ministry that we've had here at Loyola Blakefield. And I am very disappointed that you weren't made the first lay pope, but I'm sure that the next time around you will be in the running.
John, to me, you exhibit the ideal of a Jesuit educator. You're caring, loving, and dedicated. In the words of the prayer of St. Ignatius, teach us to serve as you deserve, to give and not to count the cost. That's what you do. That's what you've done for Loyola Blakefield for 40 years, and that's what you'll continue to do for God. So thank you.
Mr. Weetenkamp, I was really excited to find out that you were going to be my faculty leader on Kairos. And I remember going into the retreat, I didn't know you all that well or what your role was at Loyola. But after the retreat, I had gained a lot of respect for you as a person and what you do for our community. I remember on the retreat you taught us to see God in all of our relationships. That is something that I've really applied in my own life, and I want you to know that.
Mr. Weetenkamp, for over 40 years you've personified the Blakefield mission, and you've done it with grace and dignity. And this community is more grateful to you than you can possibly imagine. On a more personal note, you've been a confidant to me, a good friend, and I love you like a brother. Obviously a much older brother, but still.
John, I think I speak for a number of parents here when I say thank you for your dedicated effort to your spiritual programs here at Loyola. For me, you taught me what it really means to see God in all things, what it means to be a loved sinner, and how to have a deeper, meaningful connection with Jesus Christ. But most of all, John, through example, you taught me that God really does exist in the relationships and the dialogue between people. And for that, I'm forever grateful.
John, you were the headmaster at Loyola Blakefield in the late 90s when I was a student, and you always stood in front of your office in Burke Hall and greeted students as we walked down the hall. One day you stopped me because you noticed I was wearing a tie on which was one black sheep in the middle of a herd of white sheep. You pulled me into your office and said, "Brendan, you're not the black sheep at Loyola Blakefield." I'll never forget that, John. Thank you for making me and so many others feel welcome here at Loyola.
Hey, John. Hopefully you'll remember the senior choices we were asked to vote upon back in 1965. You didn't quite make most intelligent or best athlete, but we did identify you as best personality, a trademark that's remained with you throughout your career at Loyola and exemplified as a man for others. On behalf of the entire class of 1965, I want to congratulate you for your dedicated, unselfish service to Loyola. You've made us proud.
You know, speaking of that, most people aren't aware, John, but we graduated the same year from here, 65, and even though Mr. Weetenkamp looks so much older than I do, and I tell him that all the time, his big line about me is that I was on the 5-year plan here before we really even had a middle school.
Were you?
No.
You know, John's going to take us out to dinner one day.
I wouldn't hold your breath.